Guys, looks like we're going to have another remote learning day. So we're going to do some reviewing of art vocabulary words and drawing skills. So what you're going to need is a piece of paper. It can definitely be a piece of lined notebook paper, that's fine. And you're going to fold it in half. Because we are going to review shapes and forms and talk about the difference between the two. So now that my paper is in half, and you can pause and catch up with me as much as you need to, I'm going to write over here the word shapes on this side and on this side, and I'm going to put 2D because they're two-dimensional, they're flat. And on this side I'm going to write forms because forms are three-dimensional, top, sides, and bottoms. Okay, so shapes and forms are part of the elements of design. The elements of design is a fancy way of saying art vocabulary words, or words that we use to talk about and create art. So we're going to do the shape version on this side and the form version on this side. So just a pencil for this. You don't want a pen because we're going to do some shading. So grab yourself a pencil and just a simple piece of paper. And over here, we're going to start with a very simple one, a triangle. So over here, this would be a triangle. That's your 2D version. On this side, we're going to turn it into a pyramid. So you start with a triangle, and then you draw an extra line, but you don't go all the way down. See how it kind of stops short? Because you're going to connect the bottom here. Okay? So there's your pyramid. So if it was a shape, it would be a triangle. If it was a form, it would be a pyramid. If you want to shade it in a little bit, I know you do. You can pick one side to shade it in, like the sun's maybe shining on this side. And that side can have some shadow. You can even extend the shadow this way to make it look more three-dimensional. Those are all great little artist tricks. All right? Let's do a very simple one. Let's do a circle on this side. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's not perfect. Let's try circle. If it's flat, if it's two-dimensional, if it's a circle, it's a circle. Over here, it is a sphere. So how can we turn a circle into a three-dimensional shape? Well, let's first put a smaller circle inside of it, and that will be our highlight. So it looks like the light is bouncing off the top of that. Let's come over to this side, and let's use our pencil to color it in, kind of dark at first, and then kind of medium. So I'm not pressing as hard on this one this time. Kind of medium. Okay, so darker here, medium here, and then the lightest around here, and we will not color in that highlight. That'll stay as our highest light. That's why it's called a highlight. So now we have a sphere, okay? And you can also put a little shadow here. And that looks like a sphere. All right, let's try another one. You would call that a square, wouldn't you? Square. But over here, we're going to turn it into a cube. We already did this lesson this week, but earlier this year, but I'm going to show you a little bit of a shortcut. Shortcut to a cube. 3 diagonal lines. A diagonal line going this way. A diagonal line going this way. Not a straight line. Don't do a line this way. That's horizontal. And a diagonal line going this way. Okay, they're all pointing in the same direction. You can see that. Then you just close it and close it, and you got a cube. I'm going to do some shading on this side. I'm going to let my top be my highest light. I'm going to do my darkest shading on this side. Remember, that's how we use value, another great art term. Medium shading here. And then I'm going to put a shadow over here, like it's casting a shadow. So it looks 3D. Okay, we can do the exact same thing with a rectangle. So rectangle is our flat version of that. And over here, we're going to start with our rectangle. And we're going to turn it into a rectangular prism. That's what that's called. And you do it the exact same way as the cube. Super easy. A diagonal line here. Same one here. Make sure they're going the same direction. They're pointing up and pointing up here. And then you just close them. And this is just practice, so it doesn't have to be perfect. No, you need to get that ruler out. We're going to shade this side really dark. Shade this side medium. I'm just having fun, and we're practicing some art skills and reviewing some concepts. And then we'll add a little shadow over here. Okay, so that is a great way to think about changing shapes to forms. There's another one you could do with a rectangle. If you did a rectangle this way, you could come over here and take that same rectangle and you could add an oval to the top like that. And you could take this bottom and slightly round it, and you've made a cylinder. Okay, and if you wanted to show some form on that cylinder, again, you could make this side a little darker, this side darker. And then what I'm doing now is I'm not pressing as hard. Now I'm pressing a little bit lighter with my pencil. You can see that my pencil went from darker to lighter. And you want to kind of just gradually get lighter and lighter and lighter with that pencil. Okay, and you can make the inside look dark if you want, however you want to do it. Cast a shadow. So that would be another way you could do a rectangle. Another really fun one is if you start with a skinny triangle. I suppose you could do it either way, like this, a skinny triangle. And then you could turn that into a cone for your three-dimensional version of that for your form. So instead of starting with a rectangle this time, I would just do like an oval at the top and then a really long letter V. Okay, and again, shading. You probably noticed a lot that the shading really helps it look more like a three-dimensional object, doesn't it? So the value is key, adding that value. Dark over here, kind of in the middle, lighter over here. And then if you wanted to inside, you could even make it look like it's kind of casting its own little shadow inside. Okay? And those are my tricks to taking something that is two-dimensional and changing it from three-dimensional. So you go from a shape to a form. If you want extra credit for this, you can upload it to Canvas, or you can just bring it into art next week. And I know I said that last week, but I'll take it. I'll take both things if you did something last week as well, and I'll give you double extra credit. All right? So I hope you had fun drawing with me today, and I hope you stay safe and warm.